Okay, guys, today we're going to try and work some problems solving systems, which we've been doing by graphing, but we are going to do it by substitution. So when you substitute something, you literally replace something with something else. Just like when I'm gone, you have a substitute. I'm no longer there. There's someone else in my place. So keep that in mind on these. So on these problems, and you've got a worksheet in front of you that has 8 problems on the front and 8 on the back. And we are going to do about 5 of these together. And then you're going to be responsible for finishing the rest. So you look at these two equations. They're both in the y equals format. So you just need to choose one. Like, for instance, I'm just going to decide that I'm going to take this, which is y, and I'm going to go and substitute it in to that equation right there. So you're taking part of one equation and substituting it into the other equation. So now, like, pretend this y is me. I'm gone. Now, substituting in my place is a -3, and then you write the rest of the equation equals 7x minus 10. So now we know how to solve an equation that only has one variable, this x. I'm going to add 10, and -3 plus 10 is 7 equals 7x. These cancel, and then x and 7 squished together means multiply, so we divide, and we get 1 equals x. So that's part of the problem. If you'll remember, what we've learned so far is we're trying to find without a graph where these would cross. So we're always going to need an x comma y. So we have our x is 1. And hey, look right here. They gave us the -3. So now all we have to do is write that part down. And then, wahoo, we are finished with that one. So sometimes they will, right from the beginning, give you part of your answer. And then it's pretty easy when they do that. Okay, so, and we'll talk about checking more later because it's super important. But if I take this x of 1 and plug it in here, 7 times 1 is 7, minus 10 would be -3. Is y -3? You betcha. So we're correct. All right, let's go on. You're going to come back later and do work number 2. It looks very similar to this one. So, and it's not even on my page, so I had room to show you. Let's go on and look at 3. So on 3, does it give us one of our answers? No. But let's go ahead and just set up a place for our answer so that we don't forget we're looking for an x and a y. So last time we took the bottom and substituted it at top. This time, since these are both solved for y, I'm going to take this one and arrow it in down here. And guys, I really, really, really want you to make these arrows. We might forget about them later, but for now, please do this. It helps you realize that you're substituting one in. So this y was me again. I'm gone. 6x is taking my place. In place of y equals 5x plus 7. If you ever do this part, you substitute, and then you find that you still have 2 variables, something went wrong. So our whole purpose in substituting is to get an equation that only has one variable. So we have x's. We have variables on both sides. Undo the lesser variable. We're going to take 5x off both. 6x's minus 5x's is x or 1x. These cancel. X equals 7. Let's go put it in our answer spot. Remember, this is always x comma y. So now this one's a little different. We have part of our answer. We have the 7. We need the y. Well, guess what? Both of these equations up here tell us what y equals. So if this one is 6 times whatever x is, and we now know that x is 7, what is, let's write this down, what is 6 times 7? It's 42. So you're like, wow, that seems like a big number. We've never gotten an answer that big. True, because a question like this, graphing these two and them crossing at 742, would never fit on our graph. So this is exactly why sometimes graphing is not the best method, even though these were both set up where we could have graphed them. So that's the scoop with that. Notice, now I chose this equation. I could have also taken this 7 and put it in right here. 5 times 7 is 35. 35 plus 7 is also 42. So when you're trying to find y, you plug it into a y equals equation. So you could choose either one. So now that one is finished. We have our full answer. You guys can pause this if needed, catch up, whatever you need to do. Number 5. Oh, good. This one already gave me part of my answer. So go write your answer out here, your x, your y. They already told me that y is -4. Sweet. So we're going to take that, literally write these arrows, and we're going to substitute this -4 in for y. How come we're substituting it in for y? Because it says right here, y equals this. So we're going to put it there. So instead of y, I write -4 equals x minus 8. We only have one variable left, which is x. So add 8. -4 plus 8 is +4 equals x. That right there, I've got an x comma y answer. I'm good. If I check this, again, putting a 4 in here, 4 minus 8 would be -4. Is y -4? Yepers. So sweet. Okay, let's do a couple more together, and then you guys are going to be in charge of finishing this. So here's these two. We can work this either way. Sometimes I like to circle the smaller or shorter equation and arrow it up. You could also circle this one and arrow it down here. It does not matter. Choose one. As a matter of fact, pause this video for a second and you circle this and put an arrow, or circle this and put an arrow where it's going to go. Okay, you could have done this and arrowed it up here. Don't erase that if that's not what you did. Or you could have circled this. This is going to start to look messy, and put it down here. Either way, if you then substitute this in, you are going to have 6x minus 14 equals -8x. Or you are going to have -8x equals 6x minus 14. And you certainly do not have to do both of these. But if you circled and put your arrow in, you have one of these. And hey, check it out. They're the same. This has a -8x by itself, so does this. This has 6x minus 14, so does this. Okay, so let's go back and finish solving. I'm just going to choose this one. Variables on both sides. Normally we would say undo the lesser variable, but then that would leave me with nothing over here. So let's move these x's over with these. Take away 6x, make sure you drop down your -14. -8 minus 6 is -14x. Use a calculator, guys. Divide by -14, divide by -14, we get 1 equals x. Okay, so, I never put our place for my answer. Let's go over here and put a 1 in the x. We're not quite finished. We need y. Both of these equations are set up to help me find y. Choose whichever one you think looks simpler. Okay, so if x is 1, what's -8 times 1? -8. And there we go. We've got that one. All right, we're going to do one more together. We're going to do number 9. And this one's a little more difficult, but we're going to do this one together. And we might do another one. Flip your paper. Okay, number 9. So yours is on the back. And what we're going to do is, notice how this y is by itself and this one is not. It's stuck here kind of in the middle. So that's how we know we definitely want to use this, because we want one of the variables already solved or isolated by itself. So you're like, okay, Mrs. Wenger, you're the y. Who's going to be your sub? You don't want me to tell you a whole bunch of possibilities and what's going on. You want me to straight up tell you y, which is me. Me is going to be blah. Okay, so now be very careful. If I am y and this is taking my place, this needs to go right there for y. And I'm going to go work over here, but you guys can keep working under your number 9. So now I've got 2x, bring it down, plus 4. Do not write y. Y is me. I'm gone. I'm out at a meeting or whatever. So instead, I need to multiply whatever y is now. So 4 times negative 8x, and then equals 0. So now we only have x's in our equation. We can solve it. So 2x positive 4 times a negative 8x is going to be a negative 32x equals 0. Combine like terms. This gives us negative 30x equals 0. And right now you might be like, oh no, something's wrong. When we divide by negative 30, when we divide 0 by anything, we can get 0. And x can certainly be 0. So now go back up here. Let's find a place for our answer. X is 0, comma. What is y? Well, when we need to find y, go to this equation that says y equals, because it's going to help you find y. So y is negative 8 times x. We now know that x is 0. So what's negative 8 times 0? Yep. If you said negative 8, nope. But if you said 0, you're right. And we know that lines could definitely cross at 0, 0. So remember, that's what we're finding every time, is if we graph these lines, where do they cross? Where do they intersect? All right, go down to 13. Let's do one more. So let's squish a place out here for your answer. I know you don't have much room out to the side as I do. So this one again, one of them has y equals already by itself. So we know we're going to circle this one, bring it down here, and put it in for y. So then we've got 3x plus 3. Don't write y. Don't write y. Instead, we substitute in place of y. What do? We do that 2x. If you do your arrows, it'll really help you. You won't accidentally write y. So then we have this equation. We solve it. It only has x's. That's 6x equals negative 18. That's 9x together. Divide by 9, we get x equals negative 2. That's half our answer, negative 2. So now we need to know what y is. So I'm going to go out to the side. This equation, y is over here in the middle. Use this one. That should easily tell us that y is equal to 2 times whatever x is, which is negative 2. So y is equal to negative 4. And we've got that one. I know these are weird. Please just do your best. You've got this.